What's up guys, welcome back to Healthy Recipe. Today we're going to be making some okra, and I want to show you guys what the okra looks like in my garden, how the plant looks like, and we're going to get to pick some before we make this recipe. If you don't have it available in your garden, you could always go to the store and get it, but this is as fresh as you can get it and 100% organic. Alright, so these are the okra plants. They are a summer heat-loving plant, one of the only crops that stays very productive through Florida subtropical climate. We're in zone 10A and our summers here are brutal, getting up to 95 degrees on a regular basis, tons of rain, and okra thrives on that. While a lot of our other plants are actually dying back for the summer, and we won't start planting again into the soil until September because it's too hot. Okra is thriving. I have 2 rows here, if you guys can see. They're about 50 feet long, and these plants will grow up to 7 feet tall. Now what you eat in the okra is this pod, and what we do is just take a pair of clippers, cut it, and you have a beautiful pod that is super crispy. I love them just like this, fresh off the plant. Amazing. They've got these seeds inside and they're very crunchy. I use them for a lot of different recipes. Every day I fill one of these containers, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick a full container, and then we're gonna do a nice recipe for you guys. Alright guys, so now we're gonna take the okra that we picked from the garden, and we're gonna make a beautiful stew with some fresh ingredients, low fat, super healthy and delicious. So let's get right to work. Alright, so here we have just a bunch of okra that we picked fresh. Some of these will be actually too tough to cook. There's a couple of ways to tell them when they're too tough. You simply go like this to the tip, and if it bends like that, see, this one is too tough, it's no good. So if it doesn't snap, like this one here, see how it snaps off? That's tender, you can use it. If you're buying okra from the store that comes frozen, you won't have to worry about this problem. What happens is that we were late to pick some of them, so they overgrew, and you know, they're pretty much no good to cook like this. So once I cut them with a knife, I'll know. If it's tough to get into them, then those I'll probably use for pickling or something else. Alright, so let's go over the ingredients. We have okra here. It'll probably be about a pound and a half once I'm done cutting it up. About 2 cups of half moon carrots. I have cumin. 2 tablespoons of organic tomato paste. This is Thai chili. Basically, I bought dried Thai chili and I ground them up into a powder. And this is one of the spices that I use to give heat to food. If you guys don't like heat, don't add any stuff like that. I have about 4 cloves of finely minced fresh garlic. This actually has a really cool story. This Thai chili actually came from this. I bought the Thai chilies whole and ground them, and then some of the seeds from this, I planted them in my garden, and this is actually a seed from that chili powder. I have about 15 plants of these with a lot of Thai chilies out back right now growing from ordering that bag of dried chilies that had seeds. Salt, and I use Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan salt, not sea salt. I have cooking wine, and I'm using this instead of oil. I like the flavor that it gives. It's never gonna give that sauteing quality to the food like oil does, but it works fairly well, and I'm trying to cut back on using processed oil in my diet. I'm using some squash, and this is like kabocha squash that was growing in our garden. This is about a cup and a half of diced bell pepper, and these are also from the garden. And I have about maybe 3/4 of a cup of diced onion to saute with also as part of our aromatics. So that's basically everything. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the squash, and we're going to parboil it. I'm going to put it in boiling water, and we're going to work on the rest of the ingredients. So over here I got my crock pot on 200. I'm gonna do 250 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a medium. And I'm gonna do about 2 tablespoons of cooking wine or white wine, whatever you like to use. Gonna drop that garlic in there. The onion. And our pepper. I'm also gonna mince the Thai chili really quick and drop that in. And our carrots. Now while that's sauteing, I'm gonna give it a stir. We're gonna go ahead and start working on our fresh okra. So this one right here is really tender. This is kind of like what you want them like. The knife cuts right through it like butter. If you feel any resistance, then that's no good. See this one? It's like a piece of cardboard. That's no good. It's too tough. So you gotta kind of. But like I said, if you guys buy them frozen from the store, you won't have that problem because they pick them perfectly. We have so many of them out there that they just end up getting too late. Out of those 2 rows that you guys saw in that video, there's enough to pick every single day a container like this. Alright, so as you can see here, we have our aromatics cooking off. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some more of the cooking wine. And this is going to give a nice flavor. If you guys don't want to use white wine or cooking wine, you can use veggie broth. I just find that that wine gives it a really nice flavor. Just going to mix that in. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my okra. And the okra is going to release some liquid, which is kind of like a little slimy. And we add a little bit of water in a few minutes. We'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of cumin powder now. And now we're going to take our squash. And the squash is cooked almost all the way through, like 3/4 of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And this is going to add really nice creaminess and some sweetness to the recipe to contrast. Now I use some of the squash water and put it in as part of our sauce. Gonna kind of give it a little bit more liquid, and it's also got that sweetness in it because the squash was cooked in it. I'm gonna stir all that up. This is gonna become a beautiful homogenized stew. Last things we're gonna add is a little bit of the chili powder, Thai chili powder, just a tiny bit for a little bit of heat. And this is for anyone that likes their food a little hot, which I love, as you guys know. And then salt will be the final ingredient that I add. But I'll let this cook down for a little while and turn into a stew before I add the salt at the end. So we'll let that cook down a bit and become like a nice soft stew. And I have some nice sauce, some juices, and let it release that, and then we'll come back. So our stew is pretty much cooked. I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of salt. Give it a stir. A taste to make sure it's good on the salt or if it needs any more. Perfect. So now, I like to serve this over rice. Just like that. Some of that sauce to wet the rice with. And there you have a beautiful, delicious okra stew over white rice. So there it is, guys. There is my okra stew served over white jasmine rice. I hope you enjoyed the video and the recipe. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll see you guys really soon on the next one. Alright, so I'm gonna give this a taste and let you guys know what it tastes like. I'm gonna dig right in a little bit of the rice, the okra. It's piping hot, so I have to cool it a little bit. Wow. The combination with rice of the vegetables is like so fresh tasting and delicious. The okra has got like this little gelatinous, slimy type of texture to it. Some people don't like it. I absolutely love it. Probably at first when I started eating this as a kid, I wasn't a huge fan. Once you eat it a couple of times, you're gonna love it. It's got a little bit of heat. The garlic comes right through. Absolutely delicious.
I mean, it was right up the street, but $8. I'm not leaving my house.
It's true. Did I taste it already?
No.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna give it a taste to make sure it's good on the salt or if it needs any more. Perfect. So now, I like to serve this over rice. Just like that. Some of that sauce to wet the rice with. And there you have a beautiful, delicious okra stew over white rice. Now, what was the other part that I had to do? I had to do the tasting and then the outro, right? Alright, I'll do the outro. So there it is, guys. There is my okra stew served over white jasmine rice. I hope you enjoyed the video and the recipe. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you really